Welcome back to the channel JF Coin This Deep Dive. Today we unravel the story behind the 1980 D Lincoln penny, why millions were minted, why most remain common, and how a few rare survivors might be hidden gems. History and context. Why 1980 matters. The 1980 D penny belongs to the long-running series of Lincoln cent coins, first introduced in 1909. Featuring the iconic portrait of the 16th U.S. President on the obverse, front, side, a design by engraver Victor David Brenner. CoinIdentifier.com +2 Antiques Know-How +2 on the reverse, back, side, it carries the Lincoln Memorial. Designed by engraver Frank Gasparo, a design used from 1959 until 2008. CoinIdentifier.com +1 Importantly, the 1980 pennies were struck in bronze, approximately 95% copper and 5% tin and zinc. CoinIdentifier.com +2 CoinTrackers.com +2 Why does that matter? Because by 1982, rising copper costs caused the U.S. Mint to change the composition to copper-plated zinc. That makes any pre-1982 copper penny, including 1980, historically significant. CoinIdentifier.com +2 Rarest.org +21980 was a time of big mintages. The D version, Denver Mint, alone had over 5.14 billion coins struck. OldCoinOnline.com +2 UserCoinBook.com +2 In short, 1980 D pennies aren't rare by default. They were mass-produced. But their copper composition and role in the pre-1982 era give them a baseline value above face value, and a foundation for interest among collectors. What is a normal 1980 D penny worth today? You might be thinking, if 5+ billion were minted, there's nothing special about it, right? That's mostly correct, for typical, circulated coins. Research from recent 2025-era coin value sources shows a regular 1980 D penny in average condition, circulated, is worth only about 1 cent to a few cents, basically face value or slightly above. CoinTrackers.com +2 Coin Value Checker +2 Even better, circulated coins, good to very fine, rarely move significantly above face value. Coin Value Checker +1 Only when you have an uncirculated penny, especially with the original, red RD, copper luster intact, does the value begin to climb. Antiques Know-How +2 CoinTrackers.com +2 So, if you dig out a 1980 D penny from a jar, and it's dull, brown, worn, don't expect hundreds of dollars. It's likely worth just cents more than 1 cent. When 1980 D pennies become valuable, what to look for? Despite the massive mintage, there are circumstances under which a 1980 D penny can be much more valuable. Here's what collectors and experts watch for. Original red RD, uncirculated condition. If the coin still has bright copper color, crisp details, and no wear at all, it's much more desirable. Antiques Know-How +2 CoinTrackers.com +2 High, mint state, grades, coins graded MS, mint state, especially MS65, MS67, or higher, can fetch premiums. Some auction records show 1980 pennies, varieties, sold impressively high using these grades. Rarest.org +2 OldCoinOnline.com +2 Error coins or rare minting mistakes. These are where the treasure hunt gets interesting. Possibilities include doubled dies, double image lettering or date, off-center strikes, clipped planchets, coins struck on wrong planchet, e.g. dime blank, and other die or planchet errors. CoinTrackers.com +2 Coin Value Checker +2 Collectors demand plus rarity of high-grade survivors. Though billions were made, only a fraction remain in pristine condition. High-grade, certified coins, or ones with dramatic errors, become collectible simply because they're rare survivors. Rarest.org +2 OldCoinOnline.com +2 Because of these factors, while most 1980 D coins are nearly worthless beyond face value, certain rare examples have sold for dozens to hundreds, even potentially over $1,000, depending on condition, grading, error, and buyer demand. OldCoinOnline.com +2 Rarest.org +2 So, what about that claim? 1980 D penny worth $442. You told me about a market current value $442. Could a 1980 D penny really be worth that much? Here's where I get cautious and realistic. According to major coin value databases, as of 2025, a standard 1980 D penny, even uncirculated, is more realistically in the range of a few dollars up to maybe $10 to $13 for MS-graded coins. CoinTrackers.com +1 More ambitious values. Like hundreds of dollars. are only achieved by coins with rare error, extremely high grade, MS67+, perhaps certified by a respected grading service, and sold in auctions where buyer demand is high. Oldcoinonline.com +2 rarist.org +2 Sometimes sellers or websites post inflated value listings, maybe to attract attention or to speculate. This does not guarantee that a buyer will pay that much. Many coins being marketed at high prices never get sold at that price. Because of the huge mintage, 5+ billion, the overwhelming majority of 1980D coins are common, which makes it statistically unlikely for a random 1980D penny in your possession to be worth hundreds. Conclusion: yes, under ideal, rare conditions, a 1980D penny might reach a 3 or 4-digit value. But you shouldn't expect every 1980D penny to be worth a lot. The $442 claim is only plausible in exceptional cases, rare error, pristine condition, certified, high demand. What you should do if you have a 1980D penny and want to check value, if you have one, or several, 1980D pennies lying around, here's how to approach them seriously. Inspect the coin's condition carefully. Look for original red copper luster, sharp detail. No wear on high points, Lincoln's cheek, hairlines, lettering, date, mint mark. If it's worn, brown, or dull, it's probably not worth much more than a cent or two. Check for errors or unusual characteristics. Use a loupe or magnifier. Look for doubled die, weird planchet shapes, clipped planchet, off-center strikes, or any weirdness on the lettering or edges. Errors greatly increase potential value. If it looks promising, consider professional grading. Getting your coin graded and certified, MS grade, by a trusted grading service adds credibility to any sale or auction attempt. Research comparable sales. Coins sold at auction or by reputable dealers give a realistic sense of what buyers are actually willing to pay, not what sellers wish to get. Manage expectations. And treat every coin as a maybe. The reality is most 1980D pennies stay common. Only a tiny fraction reach high value. Why the 1980D penny remains interesting. More than just metal, even if your 1980D penny isn't worth hundreds, there's still plenty to appreciate. It's part of the last generation of true copper pennies, a tangible piece of pre-1982 minting history. Copper pennies were phased out because raw material cost rose too high. Coinidentifier.com +2 rarist.org +2 for coin collectors, numismatists. Every good quality penny represents a chance to preserve an original piece of U.S. minting heritage. The potential for rare errors keeps the treasure hunt alive. Sometimes, what seems like a mundane penny might, under magnification, turn out to be something special. It offers a low entry, low-cost way for aspiring collectors to start building a collection, because even junk-condition pennies cost almost nothing, but might hold surprises. Final thoughts. Realistic hopes plus dream possibilities. If you've got a 1980D penny, treat it with mild curiosity, but don't bank on instant riches. Most of these pennies are common, produced in the billions, and their value tends to stay near face value unless you hit a rare, high-grade or error coin outlier. However, that doesn't mean it's worthless. Held in pristine condition, or bearing unusual minting errors, a 1980D penny could become a small but meaningful treasure. And for many collectors, that possibility, combined with the coin's place in history, is reason enough to hold on to them, check them closely, and maybe even look for more. If you like, I can build a full ready-to-film YouTube screenplay for you, including hook, intro, B-roll suggestions, voiceover cues, background music prompts, and a final call to action. Do you want me to build that for you now? Based on what we discussed today, that this seemingly simple 1-cent coin might actually be a secret treasure in disguise. Clapperboard introduction. The penny most people overlook. The 2020 Lincoln cent doesn't look like much. On the front, a familiar portrait, the profile of Abraham Lincoln, etched with the same dignity and simplicity it's carried since 1909. On the back, a modest shield design, quietly declaring, 1 cent. It's easy to assume it's just a penny. But for collectors, numismatists, treasure hunters, that just a penny, it can be special. Because with coins, value isn't just about face value. It's about history, rarity, condition, and sometimes error. Scroll the story behind the 2020 penny. Why 2020 means something. The 2020 cent carries on a tradition that began over a century ago with the Lincoln cent, a coin that has become an enduring symbol of American history and remembrance. Wikipedia +1. The design remains simple and historic. Lincoln's portrait on the obverse, front, and on the reverse, a shield representing unity and heritage. Coins value +1 in 2020. Pennies were minted at multiple U.S. mint facilities, including Philadelphia, No Mint Mark, Denver, D, and San Francisco, S. For some rare special pennies, even a W mark from a special mint round appeared that year. Coins value +1 under ordinary circumstances. A coin like this would just remain pocket change. But 2020 was a unique year. Production quirks, high demand, and varying minting conditions gave rise to pennies whose qualities set them apart. Coin value checker +1. That's why some 2020 pennies are much more than a cent gemstone. Why some 2020 pennies are worth a lot. Condition, rarity, and errors. When it comes to coins, condition matters. A penny just dropped in your purse isn't the same as a penny that stayed minted, untouched, straight into a collection. According to coin value guides, a standard 2020 penny with no mint mark in mint state condition, that is, nearly perfect, uncirculated, can fetch significantly more than 1 cent. Coin value checker +1. For example, there are sales where a 2020 penny graded MS69RD, extremely high quality, sold for hundreds of dollars. U.S. Coins Guide +1. But the real excitement lies in error coins, pennies with mistakes in the minting process. Because even modern coins, despite massive production, sometimes slip through the cracks, resulting in unique, collectible flaws. Coin value checker +2. Bizarre hobby +2. Some of these errors include die cracks / prying eye. Errors, sometimes faint, sometimes striking lines or cracks seem to run from the eye of Lincoln, like tears. These variants attract collectors for their eerie uniqueness. Coin value checker +1. Strike-through errors, where an object, dust, debris, or stray metal interfered during minting, leaving unusual impressions on both sides of the coin. These can dramatically raise a penny's value. Coin value checker misaligned dies, die break plus broad strike, and other rare minting mistakes. Sometimes these anomalies combined can make a 2020 penny worth exponentially more. Even widely circulated modern coins can catch collectors' attention if they carry noticeable flaws. Coin value checker +1. And when such pennies survive in uncirculated, pristine condition, untouched by pocket wear or circulation, their value shoots up, because they stand out among billions of ordinary pennies. Coin value checker +1. Chart increasing 2020 penny market value. What collectors pay according to recent data. A 2020 penny without mint mark, i.e. from Philadelphia, in top collectible condition, may be valued up to $8.64, already many times above face value. Coin value checker +1. The 2020 S proof penny from San Francisco, in deep cameo finish, a premium collector version, can fetch around $12.50. Coin value checker. Those are common upper-end values. But the real money is in rare specimens, graded MS69RD, or coins with unusual minting errors. Some of these have reportedly sold for hundreds, even $500 to $760 depending on the coin's exact condition and rarity. U.S. Coins Guide +2. Coin value checker +2. In extreme cases, for coins with dramatic errors or exceptional grading, prices can climb even higher. That's where a 1-cent coin starts behaving like a collectible treasure. Coin value checker +2. Coin value checker +2. So yes, a 2020 penny, when rare or in superb condition, can be worth a lot more than 1 cent. Thinky face, could yours be worth $442 or more? What to check if you believe a 2020 penny in your possession might be worth a small fortune, say around $442. Here's what to do, and look for check mint mark. Look at the little letter, or absence of letter, beneath the date. DES, no mark, or even special marks, they indicate where the coin was minted. Each mint facility's coins have different production volumes and quality standards, which affects value. Inspect condition. Is it shiny? Crisp details on Lincoln's bust and the shield? Little to no wear? No scratches, dents, or discoloration? That kind of mint state quality pushes value way up. Look for errors or anomalies. Does the penny show strange cracks, odd lines, misstrikes, weird markings, or misalignments? Those so-called mistakes sometimes make what's otherwise common into something highly collectible. Professional grading? If it looks promising, consider having it graded by a reputable coin grading service. A graded coin, MS69RD for example, is far easier to trade or sell at premium prices than a raw penny. Research recent sales. The coin market, like art antiques, and collectibles, fluctuates. Look up recent sales of similar 2020 pennies. Same mint, same condition, same errors. That gives a realistic benchmark for what you might expect out if your coin ticks the boxes above. $442, even more, isn't impossible. Especially if the coin is a standout among tens of millions of 2020 pennies. Direct hit why this matters. More than just money, you might wonder. Why so much fuss over a penny? Why do collectors care about a tiny, cheap coin from 2020? Because coins are history you can hold. A 2020 penny belongs to a modern era. But over time, even modern coins become historic. People look back on ordinary things as relics. Because the value lies in rarity, condition, and story, not just in metal or face value. A penny with an unusual flaw, or one preserved perfectly, becomes unique. You can't just remint that specific coin, because there's excitement in the hunt, in checking loose change, in comparing coins, in discovering something valuable where you least expect it. It's almost like treasure hunting, and sometimes, just sometimes, that treasure turns out to be real value, not just sentimental. A coin you didn't think twice about might become a prized collectible. Compass final thoughts. What you should do right now if you have a 2020 penny, or several, don't toss them out. Don't assume they're worthless. Take a moment, inspect them carefully. Examine the mint mark, check the condition, look for signs of unusual striking or error. If one stands out, clean, crisp, maybe without markings, you might be holding more than pocket change, and if you want, why not document it? Photograph it carefully. Research similar coins. Maybe reach out to a coin grading service or join a collector community. Because in a world full of common things, sometimes value hides in the smallest, most unexpected places. Like a simple penny, clapperboard closing, on camera or voiceover. So next time you find a 2020 penny, don't just drop it into a jar or toss it away. Look. Appreciate. Inspect. Because that ordinary penny might just be extraordinary. You might just be holding a modern-day treasure, waiting for someone who recognizes its true worth. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the bell icon. We dive into secret treasures, coin mysteries, and hidden history. Who knows what everyday item you might discover next? If you like, I can prepare 2 or 3 alternate full scripts of different styles. One dramatic and cinematic, like above, one more factual and documentary style, and one more conversational, like talking directly to the viewer, casual and friendly. Want me to write them now? Today, we're diving deep into the story of the 2021 penny from the United States, its origins, why most are virtually worthless, and how a few rare mistakes or perfect conditions can make some, ordinary, pennies unexpectedly valuable. Strap in, because by the end, you might just want to dig out that jar of coins gathering dust at home. History and background of the 2021 penny. The 2021 penny belongs to a long legacy of coins known as the United States 1-cent coin, the everyday penny that people have used to buy candy, bus rides, and coffee for more than a century. The design you see on modern pennies dates back decades. The obverse, the heads, side carries the well-known portrait of Abraham Lincoln, originally created by sculptor Victor David Brenner, and the reverse, the tails, side, now features the shield motif, a design that has been standard since 2010 and continued through 2021. U.S. Coins Guide +1. Unlike the old, wheat pennies, those minted between 1909 and 1958, modern pennies, including the 2021 ones, are made differently. The material composition changed over time, and modern coins are struck in high volume. In fact, in 2021 alone the mint produced nearly 4 billion pennies. Cointrackers.com +1. What does that mean? It means that the average 2021 penny you might hold in your hand is extremely common. A piece of pocket change, nothing more. For a normal circulated 2021 penny, the value is about what it says on the face, 1 cent, or maybe just a few cents if it's uncirculated but unremarkable. Cointrackers.com +1. Why some people believe 2021 pennies could be worth a lot. Still, I've seen internet posts claiming that certain 2021 pennies could fetch hundreds, thousands, or even $442 or more. Why? Because, like all coins, some 2021 pennies aren't normal. Under very specific circumstances, errors during minting, rare die breaks, off-center strikes, unusual coloring, or near perfect condition. In numismatic terms, mint state, red, a 2021 penny can become collectible. Coin value checker +2. Coin value checker +2. For example, some 2021 pennies show minting errors such as rim die breaks, cut errors, a sort of floored or crushed area where the metal didn't strike cleanly, or misstrikes where part of the design is missing or distorted. Collectors sometimes pay extra for coins with such mistakes, because they're rare and interesting. Coin value checker +1. An uncirculated 2021 penny graded as MS mint state, with the RD designation, meaning it retains its original red copper color, can fetch more than a normal worn penny from change. Cointrackers.com +2. Coin value checker +2. In extreme cases, collectors claim to have sold error 2021 pennies, with both obverse and reverse defects, for hundreds of dollars, though such claims often come with caveats about condition, authenticity, or certification. Coin value checker +1. So yes, under very narrow circumstances, a 2021 penny might be worth far more than 1 cent. Reality check. What most 2021 pennies are actually worth. Now here's the reality. Most 2021 pennies are not valuable. Because they were minted in enormous quantities. Nearly 4 billion. Regular ones are extremely common. A 2021 penny in everyday circulation? Worth 1 cent. A 2021D or 2021 no-mint penny that's uncirculated, but unremarkable, might get you a few cents, maybe $1 or $2 if in beautiful condition. Cointrackers.com +2u.s. Coins Guide +2. Even among collectors, the vast majority of 2021 shield pennies bring little more than face value or small premiums. The ones that spike in value are usually either A. Professionally graded and certified in perfect mint state with full red luster, or B. Dramatically flawed/error coins that stand out for their rarity. U.S. Coins Guide +2. Coin value checker +2. Meaning, if you dump a bag of 2021 pennies on the table, expect most to be worthless as collectibles. Only a few, so few, might catch a collector's eye, where the $4.42 value idea comes from, and why it's probably hype. You asked specifically about the idea that a 2021 penny could currently be worth $4.42. That number, or numbers like it, often come from online listings or forums where people hope to sell rare error pennies. But there are several reasons to approach such claims with heavy skepticism. Certification is everything. Coins with minting errors or purported rarity need verification from recognized grading services, like professional coin grading companies. Without that, a rare penny is just a penny. Coin value checker +1. Most error pennies circulate in low grades. Even if a penny had a mint error, damage after minting or improper handling drastically reduces value. What might have been a collectible coin becomes just a novelty. Market demand is small. Even rare modern pennies don't always attract big bids. Collectors often prefer older, historically significant coins from earlier eras, pre-1982, or special sets, making demand for 2021 errors weaker. Overinflated online listings. There's a long history of people listing everyday pennies as rare treasures, hoping someone bites. Real sales, especially certified ones, are the only reliable indicator of value. In short, while $442 is technically possible in rare, exceptional cases, it's far from the norm. How to check if your 2021 penny could be valuable. If you want to treat your pennies like treasures, here's exactly what to look for. What distinguishes a likely collectible 2021 penny from one worth only 1 cent? Check the condition. Is the penny bright, shiny, and free of wear or corrosion? Does it still have the original, red copper luster, not brown or dull? That dramatically increases value. Look for minting errors, off-center strikes, rim die breaks, cut marks, missing parts of the design or lettering, double strikes. Any unusual minting anomaly might make it collectible. Ask for grading/certification. If you believe you have a rare penny, consider having it evaluated by a recognized grading service. A certified grade can vastly amplify the coin's value and buyer confidence. Compare to known sales. Search auction records or numismatic specialist websites to see what similar 2021 pennies have actually sold for, not just what someone hopes to get. Be realistic and cautious. For every rare 2021 penny worth hundreds. Story. There are thousands of ordinary pennies. Treat claims with healthy skepticism unless backed by evidence. Why some people still hunt pennies? The psychological and collector appeal, you might wonder. If the odds are so slim, why do people even bother collecting modern pennies? Because for some, coin collecting isn't just about making money, it's about the thrill of the hunt, the possibility that an everyday object hides a secret. There's the romantic notion. Maybe today you dig through change and find a red 2021 penny with a weird error, the kind of thing rare coin hunters dream about. For collectors, even a nearly flawless modern penny represents a challenge, the preservation of color, detail, strike quality. These are subtle differences that only numismatists appreciate. And sometimes, just sometimes, you might strike gold. A few pennies that were unremarkable last year suddenly grow in collectible value thanks to market demand or new discoveries. It's about hope, possibility, and the quietly compelling idea that ordinary pennies might occasionally turn into small treasures. Conclusion: should you be excited? Should you save 2021 pennies? Yes, you absolutely can be excited. Because while the vast majority of 2021 pennies are just pennies, there's a tiny chance one of yours might be special. If you enjoy coin collecting, or if you don't mind storing a few in a safe place just in case, there's no harm in saving them, just don't expect a windfall. Treat them like long-shot lottery tickets, not guaranteed gold. And if you do find a 2021 penny that looks perfect, red, uncirculated, maybe with a strange marking or error, get it professionally graded. That's the only way to know whether you actually hold something rare and valuable, or just another cent from the coin jar. Because in the world of modern pennies, the difference between worth 1 cent and collector's treasure often comes down to a tiny detail, something that only someone who knows pennies well could spot. So yes, check your pocket change. You never know. If you like, I can build a full ready-to-read YouTube script for you, complete with hook, timestamps, narration text, and even a call to action. So you just copy-paste into your recording software. Do you want me to create that for you now? Today we dive into the story of the 1977 Lincoln penny, its history, what makes some of them valuable, and what you should watch out for before believing every $442 or $7,000 claim you see on the internet. Stay tuned, because this little coin might surprise you. Scroll the history and basics of the 1977 Lincoln penny. The 1977 penny is part of the long-running series featuring Abraham Lincoln on the obverse, front, and, at that time, the Lincoln Memorial on the reverse, back. Usercanbook.com +1 In 1977 the U.S. Mint produced billions of these pennies, including coins from different mints. No mint mark. Pennies, minted in Philadelphia, approximate 4,469,930,000 coins that year. Coinidentifier.com +1 inch. D. Pennies, minted in Denver, similarly large production numbers. Cointrackers.com +1 inch. S. Pennies, proof coins, minted in San Francisco, minted in much smaller quantity, for collectors rather than circulation. Cointrackers.com +1 The metal composition. These pennies, pre-1982, are primarily copper, about 95% copper and 5% zinc/tin alloy. Usercanbook.com +1 So if you find a 1977 penny in your cash jar, that's where it likely came from, just everyday circulation, originally worth 1 cent, and still common. In terms of how many exist, light bulb value, common versus exceptional. Here's where things get interesting. Most 1977 pennies, especially those that circulated, are basically worth 1 cent to a few cents. A worn, circulated penny from 1977 has little collectible value, often just a couple of cents above face value because of its copper content. CoinValueLookup.com +2 U.S. Coins Guide +2 But under certain circumstances, that's where potential value kicks in. White heavy check mark. What makes a 1977 penny worth more? Condition/grade. Mint state. Uncirculated, flawless or nearly flawless, pennies from 1977, especially ones graded by professional grading services, can fetch a premium. Cointrackers.com +2 Coinidentifier.com +2 Mint mark/type, proof coins, the 1977 S. Pennies from San Francisco, though common among collectors, are more desirable than worn circulation pennies. Cointrackers.com +1 Rarity among high-grade survivors. Because so many pennies were minted, very few remain in pristine, uncirculated condition, and those rare survivors command collectors' attention. Cointrackers.com +2 Usercanbook.com +2 Direct hit. What value ranges are realistic? According to a reputable coin value guide, A typical circulated 1977 penny is just worth face value, 1 cent, sometimes a few cents, maybe up to 2, 3 cents, because copper is worth a little more than face. U.S. Coins Guide +1 an uncirculated 1977 penny, with no mint mark. P. In a pretty good condition, say, MS-65. A coin grading scale for mint state might be worth a few dollars up to perhaps $15 to $20. Coinidentifier.com +2 userconbook.com +2 for well-preserved, high-grade 1977 D. Pennies, Denver, or exceptionally preserved. S. Proof pennies. Some coins have sold for tens or even hundreds of dollars. Cointrackers.com +1 police car light the hype, claims of worth $442 or more. What you need to know: you might have seen listings or online claims saying 1977 Lincoln penny, worth $442 today, or even thousands. Before you get too excited, take a deep breath. Here's the reality. Because so many 1977 pennies were minted, the vast majority are common. That means your everyday penny is likely not a rare $442 coin. Higher values only apply to pennies in exceptional condition, often graded professionally, high uncirculated grade, proof, or special era/variety. Without that, value tends to stay near face or modest premium, even among mint state categories. Sales history shows only very few pennies reach high auction prices. For example, in one widely cited sale, a 1977 D penny graded MS-68, red, reportedly sold for over US $7,050 in 2016, but that was a flawlessly preserved, ultra-rare outlier. Cointrackers.com +2 Coin Value Checker +2 On the other hand, the typical 1977 penny in circulation, even if uncirculated, sells for amounts like $2.50, maybe up to $20, depending on condition. Rarest.org +2 userconbook.com +2 In other words, most $442 worth penny claims are probably exaggerations, clickbait, or only apply in extremely rare, perfectly preserved cases, not your everyday penny. So if someone asks, is my 1977 penny worth $442? The honest answer is, maybe, but only if it's in excellent, near-mint condition, and ideally professionally graded. Otherwise, treat that figure skeptically. Magnifying glass tilted left tips for you. How to check your 1977 penny if you want to see whether your 1977 penny is special. Here's what to look for. Check the mint mark. No letter under the date. Minted in Philadelphia. D. Denver. S. San Francisco. Rare for 1977. These are proof pennies made especially for collectors. Coinidentifier.com +2 userconbook.com +2 Inspect the condition carefully. Is the coin worn and scratched? Probably just face value. Is it shiny, with crisp details? Does it look uncirculated, with original mint luster? That's when value can rise. Coins graded at MS-65 or above or proof condition, if S-mint, are far more desirable. Consider professional grading. If you suspect the coin is in mint condition and might be valuable, having it graded by a recognized coin grading service, especially for collector markets, can significantly increase trust and potentially the value. Don't rely on hype or flashy online ads. Always compare to documented auction history and credible value charts for realistic pricing. Direct hit. My take. Why you should be excited, but also realistic. I love that coins like the 1977 penny make coin collecting accessible to ordinary people. It's exciting that a coin you may find in your pocket change could be more than just a penny. That possibility of discovering a hidden gem in your coins is part of the fun. But at the same time, because billions of 1977 pennies exist, actual high-value examples are extremely rare. Most pennies, even from 1977, are common, worn, and worth only cents to a few dollars at best. So treat your 1977 penny like a maybe. It's worth holding on to and taking a good look if it seems to have been well preserved. But don't count on $400, $1,000, or $7,000 unless you genuinely have an exceptional specimen, and ideally one that's graded. Clapperboard outro. What you should do now: if I were you and I had an old 1977 penny, here's what I'd do. I'd clean it only gently. Don't scrub or damage it. Just wipe it gently. But note, heavy cleaning can reduce value, so often it's better to leave it untouched. I'd examine it with a magnifying glass to check mint mark, wear, and luster. If it looks unusually pristine, I'd consider getting it graded by a professional, because grading greatly affects value if you want to sell or trade. I'd look up recent auctions or value guides to see what similar coins are selling for, and keep expectations realistic. And above all, I'd enjoy the history. Because this humble coin is really more than a penny. It's a small piece of American history, minted nearly 50 years ago, and potentially your passport into the world of coin collecting. Thanks for watching or reading. If you enjoyed this, hit like, subscribe, and share, and leave a comment. Do you have a 1977 penny? What did you find? If you want, I can prepare a full ready-to-record YouTube video script for you, with timestamps, visual suggestions, on-screen text, and even open/close hooks. That'll make it easy for you to record. Do you want me to build that for you now?